Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to start chapter number 7, Solids, Liquids and Gases. So here one warm-up activity is given. Identify the states of matter found in nature. Write in the blanks. So mist, that means fog, it is in gaseous form. Rain, that is water, it is in liquid form. And snow, that is solid, it is in solid form. So first one is gas, liquid and solid. Okay, this would be the answer. Now in question number 2, identify the states of matter of the following substances found in the kitchen. Write in the blanks given below. So butter, we are finding it in the solid state. Oil, that is in the liquid state. And steam, the vapor, is in gaseous state, that means gas. Now let us start the chapter. Everything around us is made up of matter. The air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the food that we eat, and even human beings are made up of matter. As we have already read in the previous class, that matter is made up of matter is the thing that makes anything. Whatever we see is made up of matter. Even the water, the air, the food, everything is made up of matter. We have learnt in class 3 that matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. We also know that matter can exist in 3 states: solids, liquid and gas. In the previous classes we have read about the solid, liquid and gases. And what is matter? Matter is something that can have weight and that has mass and occupies space. Anything that has mass and occupies space is known as matter. And matter can exist in 3 states, that is solid, liquid and gas. In this chapter, let us learn about the arrangement of the particles, solids, liquid and gases, and then learn some more about their properties. So what we will read in this chapter? The arrangement of the molecules in the 3 states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas, and something more about these solids, liquids and gases. Now states of matter, as we know, matter exists in 3 states, that is solid, liquid and gas. The difference in the 3 states of matter lies in the arrangement of their particles, that how the particles are arranged, that makes the matter solid, liquid or gas. Now molecules. Matter is made up of very tiny particles called molecules. So matter is also made up of very tiny particles, that is known as molecule. These molecules are made up of even tinier particles that are called atoms. That means a molecule is made up of very small particles, which is known as atom. The form of molecules remains the same in all the states of matter. When we heat water, it changes into steams, which on cooling changes back to the water. Suppose that we are heating water. So what we will get? We will get the steam. And when we cool this steam, that means the vapor. So what we will get? We will get the liquid again. Thus, whatever the state, liquid or solid, the form of molecules remains the same. That means the molecule would be same, only their arrangement, only the arrangement of the molecules changes in each state. That means the arrangement, the molecule would be the same, only the arrangement will be changed. The space between two molecules is called the intermolecular space. Suppose that whatever the space is there, and that space is known as intermolecular space. Now we will read about solid. In solids, there is a strong force of attraction between the molecules. That is why the molecules in solids are packed closely together and cannot move. So as we have seen that the molecules in the solids are very tightly packed. There is very less space here. We are seeing very less space, so that they would be tightly packed and they cannot move anywhere. As a result, they have solid and fixed shape and their fixed volume. Solids may be hard or rigid like rock or wood. They are very hard or they are very rigid, or soft like fabric, rubber or sand. They may be soft like rubber or sand. Now we will read about the arrangement in liquids. Liquids do not have a fixed shape or size. They take the shape of the container in which they are poured. There is a less force of attraction between the molecules in the liquids than in solids, hence the molecules in liquid can move about freely, which helps liquid to flow. Liquids also have a fixed volume. That means here what we are saying, the molecules in the liquids are not very close, they are away from each other. That is why they doesn't have any fixed shape, but they have a fixed volume. If they will be put in any of the container, they take the shape of that container only. If water is put in a glass, it takes the shape of the glass. If water is put in a bottle, it takes the shape of the bottle. Suppose that we are taking 250 ml of water and we have put in a glass. We have put it in the glass. So the 250 ml of water will take the shape of the glass. Again, if we will put the water in the bottle, so the 250 ml of water will take the shape of the bottle. Here what we are saying that the shape is only changing, but the volume is same. 250 ml of water remains same as 250, only its shape is changing. Where it is poured, it takes the shape of that container only. Okay, now gases. We will read about gas. In gases, there are hardly any force of attraction between the molecules. Thus, there is lots of space between the molecules that helps gases to move easily and in any direction. This is why gases have no shape, fixed shape, size or volume. So what we are saying here? We are saying here that the space between the molecules are very far. That is why they doesn't have any force of attraction and they move freely. They can move freely anywhere in this particle. They can move here, they can move here, they can move here, there. But in case of liquids, they are getting less space. But in case of solids, they are not getting any space to move. But in solids, they are getting some space, and in liquids, they doesn't have any force of attraction. That is why they can move freely about themselves. That is why gases doesn't have any fixed shape, any fixed volume or any fixed size. They can move freely where they want. Let us take an example. Get set go. Take a balloon and blow air into it. So what do you see? Yes, the balloon will expand. Now blow harder. Then what you will see? The balloon will get bigger in size. After that, it will burst. If the elasticity of the balloon will reach the limit, then it will burst. This shows that air occupies space. That means in this way we can find that air occupies space. That means the air is having the matter. The air is a matter. As we know, the definition of a matter, anything that has mass and occupies space is matter. So if we will weight this balloon, we will get its mass. That means air is definitely a matter. Here one revision zone is there. In revision zone, what we have to do? We have to do true and false. So in question number 1, what is asked? What is the question? Atoms are larger than molecules. What would be the answer? The answer would be false, because molecules are larger than atoms. Molecules of different types combines to form element. No. Molecules of same type combines to form elements. That means it is also false. This one is also, number 2 is also false. Now number 3, the force of attraction between gas molecule is stronger than liquid molecules. Liquid molecules. So the force of attraction between the gas molecule is stronger than liquid molecules. No, the force of attraction between the gas molecule is lesser than liquid molecules. So again number 3 is also false. Now number 4, gases have no fixed shape. Definitely they doesn't have any fixed shape. That means the last one is true. So 1, 2, 3 is false and number 4 is true. Now we'll read about solubility of solids in liquid. Solubility of a substance means its ability to dissolve in another substance to form a uniform mixture. We have already learned in the previous classes that the substance which dissolves in another substance is called a solute. The substance in which solute dissolves is called a solvent, and the mixture formed is called solution. So as we have already studied in class 3 in the previous class, that what is solubility? Solubility of a substance means its abilities, that something is dissolved in it. Suppose water have the ability to dissolve sugar, salt. Okay, so water becomes the solvent. Here what we will tell about this in the previous classes, what we have read, which dissolves in another substance. That means solid particles, here salt and sugar becomes the solute and water becomes the solvent. Why solvent? Because the sugar particles and salt particles are dissolving in water. That is why it is solvent. And the mixture which is formed by mixing the sugars, salt and water is known as solution. Now solubility of water. Solids like salt, sugar easily dissolves in water, as we have already studied. These are called soluble substance. Then sugar and salt are known as soluble particles or substance. When soluble substances are added to water, they break down into individual molecules that spread and arrange uniformly in between the water molecules. Such a solution is called uniform solution. When we mix sugar and salt to water, they mix uniformly, they mix fully. That is why they are known as uniform solutions. Some solid substances do not dissolve in water. For example, sand, chalk powder and tea leaves. They are called insoluble particles because they doesn't dissolve in water. That is why they are known as insoluble particles. So one activity is there, science in kitchen. Take the following items from the kitchen and check whether they dissolve in water or not. Okay, so you have to do this activity as your homework. Now we will read about separation of liquids from solids. There are various methods to separate soluble and insoluble solids from liquids. You have learnt about this in the previous classes under purification of water. Now let us revise. Again we have to revise, as you have already studied this, you have read this in class 3. Now separation of liquid from insoluble solids. Insoluble solids can be removed from liquid by sedimentation and decantation and filtration. There are 3 methods for separating insoluble solids from a liquid. How we will do this activity? The 3 processes are sedimentation, decantation and filtration. Now we will do sedimentation and decantation. Sedimentation is the process in which insoluble solids like mud, sand, pebbles, etc. settle at the bottom of the vessel. These leaves clear liquid at the top of the vessel. Now decantation is the process of taking out the clear liquid from the top. Sedimentation and decantation go hand in hand. Suppose that we have taken a dirty water filled it with mud. We have to keep it in a beaker for some times. We will see that the mud has sedimented, that means settled down at the bottom of the beaker. Then we will find the clear water at the top. When we will take this clear water from the top, that process is known as decantation. So let us do an activity so that we will be able to understand this process, sedimentation and decantation. To remove insoluble particles from water through sedimentation and decantation, you will need 2 beakers, a spoon, some water and some sand or soil. Now, how we will do this activity? Take some water in beaker. First of all, we have to take some water in the beaker, then add some sand or soil into it. Okay, then stir it well with a spoon. That is why we have taken a spoon also, so that it becomes a mixture of sand, soil and water. Then keep the beaker aside for some time. So we have to, as we have already studied, that we have to keep the beaker for some time. Now we will see that the mud will settle down or the sand will settle down and we will get the clear water. So the next process is that now pour the clear water into another beaker without disturbing the soil at the bottom. This way we get clean water using sedimentation and decantation. Now what we will observe, we see that the soil or sand settles down at the bottom, leaving clear water at the top. Now the second method is the third method is filtration. So what is filtration? Filtration is the process of separating insoluble solids by passing the liquid through pores. That means we have to take a filter paper, small holes of the strainer such as filter paper. Now for this also we have to do an activity, that activity number 2, aim. What is the aim of our activity? To remove insoluble impurities from water through filtration. So our aim is to remove impurities from the insoluble impurities, not only impurities, insoluble impurities which are not soluble in water, through filtration. By the process, which process we are using? Filtration. So for that also we have to take 2 beakers, a funnel, a glass rod. Instead of glass rod you may take a spoon also. Then filter paper, some oil and some water. Now method. What is the method we will follow? We have to take the method. Take some water in a beaker, add soil and stir it with a glass rod or the spoon. Then we will get the mixture of the water. Then what we have to do? Take the filter paper, make a filter cone as shown in figure and fix it inside a funnel. So we have to make a cone with the filter paper and we have to fix it in the funnel. Then now pour the muddy water through the funnel into another beaker. Then you have to pour this muddy water into the funnel where the filter paper is fitted as a cone. Then we will get the clear water, as because the insoluble particles will be filtered in the cone only, in the filter paper. Now observation, we will see that the soil remains in the filter paper and clear water drips into the beaker. That means we will get the clear water in the beaker. So next day we will read about separation of liquid from soluble solids. Okay. So you have to do the activity Science in Kitchen and this one revision zone in page number 77 in your Google Classroom, where the assignment is created and you have to submit it. Next day we will start from separation of liquids from soluble solids. Okay, till then, thank you, goodbye.